can give. It's time for Big D Energy, live on Woodward Sports. Join four-time Stanley Cup champion and legendary badass Darren McCarty and the golden voice of Neil Rule, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., as they give their takes on all things Detroit sports. The number one midday show in Detroit is on. Welcome to Big D Energy.
What is up, Woodward Sports, on a Thursday afternoon?
Big D!
Four-time Stanley Cup champion. Half of that Big D energy. Darren McCarty. I'm Sean Belegian sitting in for the one and only Neil Rule. We got everybody in the house. KG's here. We got Chase. Wow. We got Spenny.
Hello.
There's a pulse, boys. There's a pulse with the Red Wings.
I just realized
right
you're
now.
like Drapes.
Why is that?
You're like Drapes on the network. No, you're our grind liner. You are. You like whether you're filling in for me or Neil. Like it's on. Like let's get it where it is.
Where do you want me to play?
It's a three-man show, so it's just as much part of your show as it is ours with the family here today. Obviously, KG, what good?
Hey, what's good, man? Chilling. How about you?
I always, it's always a good day when I walk in and the boys are talking wrestling.
Yeah, wrestling, man.
Right?
We was going over
Woodward ringside.
Yeah, we was going over AEW Revolution and the top 15 black wrestler list that came out. It wasn't a bad list, but once you start like deep diving, you realize just how many black wrestlers were actually snubbed. Like me and JB actually feel like New Jack should be on that list, and I know you familiar with New Jack. Oh. I know that's not a popular opinion amongst the masses, but for what he did as a black wrestler in the extreme wrestling crowd, he should be in the top 15, right?
Yeah, there's no bigger, I guess, reality and wrestling or whatever, blurring the lines. But what he did to put ECW back on the on the map, it's like and I think there's different arguments and stuff like that. Who they have Booker T?
Yeah, they have Booker T as one. Which Rock is two, makes sense.
Which you can't argue, but I think
he wasn't. But Zeus wasn't a full-time wrestler. He was for a certain period, but Tiny Lister was more of an actor. We knew what that was.
But when he burst on the scene, though, dude,
it was crazy. Yeah,
that was crazy. It really was.
Yeah. But R.I.P. Tiny Lister.
I'm not going to. The two dudes, him and Bad News Brown. Do you remember Bad News Brown?
Yeah.
In the ghetto?
I do.
Scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Because they had that look. Mm-hmm. They had that look down. Like they were going to do bad things to you.
And they had people like Junkyard Dog. They had Junkyard Dog on there and people of that nature. But once you get into it, there's a lot of snubs like Jay Lethal, R-Truth. Those are a couple guys that should be on there.
Great wrestlers.
Yeah.
Like you're talking about like that. So Persona and stuff. But the big thing, when does that episode come out?
I believe Saturdays.
Saturday. So check out Woodward Ringside with our boys KG and JB. They do a heck of a job.
I think McCarty and I need to do a new show here on Woodward, and we'll just call it Dip Talk or something.
Yeah.
Because these poor guys, we went straight from wrestling to McCarty and I sharing all our tales of dip, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, it was a simple question because, like, obviously, like, that is whatever you think about it, but Sean and I have always shared that conversation, so it was a simple
dip talk.
It was a simple, what are you carrying on you these days? And then the boys, we gave them a little education, even to learn that the Chase's boys in the back of the biology classroom back in high school used to spin into the Arnold Palmer's because they were dark and you wouldn't get caught and splitting a log. Look at where the logs have come from, though. Yeah. So we were just disparaging. We're disparaging school.
Hey, we also learned that Sean has a certain price point for eating ass. We found
it's true. I will not eat ass unless if I'm going to eat ass, I'm not paying a lot to eat ass.
Depends on the ass.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Yeah, now I will I will buy a log. It's $44, and you guys all want
like a non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Right? Hey, there's a great. Hey, guys, how about top 5 non-negotiables?
Ooh,
your top 5 non-negotiables.
That's a good one.
That's fire.
Yeah,
that might be the greatest list ever.
You got to overrule Neil with that one.
No, we can.
Neil
it's not an overrule. Yeah. It's we'll put the other one on the back burner.
On the back burner.
Yeah.
Did you see how? Remember yesterday, if you were here, Spenny was like, "I gotta feel it."
Yeah.
I wasn't feeling any of those either.
Yeah.
That one.
That's the one.
By Sean inspired.
Hey, Sean, real quick, Cindy Crawford asked, how much would you pay to eat that?
I educated these guys on said, "Do you prime Cindy
Oh,
Crawford?"
dude, we're the same age. These
There's
guys
nothing.
might.
You ain't
I'm
have to
sorry.
educate. I've seen the commercial before.
There's nothing. Like for me,
There was one other.
There's nothing.
Spenny, there was one other, and her name was Raquel Darian. You could Google her. You
big
could
fan.
you could go Google, look her up.
Raquel
big
what?
fan of her work.
Raquel
back in the day.
Darian.
Big fan of her work.
Darrian.
There was
If you know, you know.
when the supermodel craze started, like Mac and I are in the same age group.
Oh, wow.
When the supermodel
Spinny approved.
age started, you like if you did a ranking, like honestly, and KG, I'm not taking a shot at you. It's almost like after Ohio State won the championship, they go like this, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't that seat?
That was
Yeah.
Cindy
It
Crawford.
must be just that seat. that
Cindy-
I
just
think
has
so.
to do.
I think
That
it
was
is.
Cindy Crawford. She was Ohio flipping State. She was. You just want like that. And there were other ones that okay, I'm gonna play the role of Georgia. I'm gonna be Alabama. But there can only be one.
There can only be one.
And she was
No,
she
she's
was Larry
an
Bird.
all-timer for sure.
I'm full Larry Bird, number one finger, and yeah, boy, prime Cindy. Don't see you get me started.
You'll
again.
pay high price for that.
You get me started again.
Yeah, don't zip the shit.
I have no problem going to. I have no problem going to buy a sleeve of Cindy Crawford for $44. I got no problem.
God damn, did somebody turn the heat on?
Hot.
Right. Sean over here, hot as hell.
Damn. Whoa.
Oh, man.
In the ditch right away. How about those Red Wings boys?
There's a pulse. There's a pulse right now. I listen. Let's be.
Are we talking about the Red Wings or are we talking
Yeah.
I think you
Well, it's time to back
Are
it
we
down.
moving
boys.
on?
think
Get
you-
moving on.
I'm sorry, I'm dipping on air. It got a little too much in here. No, listen, Mac. There's a pulse. We're getting into that point in time right now where it's going to be very difficult for them to make up some points. It's not impossible, but it's going to be very, very difficult for them to make up some points with Ottawa and Columbus kind of playing the way they have and pulling away at the same time. I might add that the Red Wings went into a swoon, but it was nice to see the boys needed it last night.
It's irrelevant. You got 17 games left. You know, you're going to have to win 13 of them or whatever. What everybody does around you is irrelevant. Last night, I think it reiterated to what I said about the way they were playing and the shots on net and to keep firing and stuff like that. You know, props to Peter Mrazek. Put in sort of a tough situation to come in and bail these guys out. And
Craig Smith played well too.
What's that?
Craig Smith played well too.
No, I think that what you start like when I'm watching the game, right, and I'm going through it, I'm listening and replaying the criticisms and stuff like that. The hard part for me is I'm just grateful that they're playing hard. Like I remember what it was like at the beginning of the year. I remember turning it off and the apathy that I had. Now I just separate this, and everybody can be frustrated, and everybody can be. We should be. But this is where we're at. And the fact is, do I see that? Can these guys work their way out of it? Are they competing? Are they playing for each other? What did you see last night? Right, not only on the score sheet, but you know what? There was some grease in the game, pushing and shoving, and. You know, I know that if you want to call the Rasmussen Tuck a fight or whatever, but, you know, Edvidson, Shine, guys throwing guys around. Sherrod sticking up for Mo. So these guys are playing the proper way. They're playing fast. You know, I'm playing poker with a bunch of buddies, and I'm looking around, and I just ask questions. I go, do you think these guys are playing quick, or do you think these guys are slow, or do you think they're taking the play to them? Boom, there's a hit here, there's a hit here. There's different things that you didn't see earlier in the year. I think it's just from where I've come from, I'm more grateful. And here's my caveat. I have 4 Stanley Cups. Never missed the playoffs, right? And I know that, so maybe I'm twisted to the fact that, like, championships are what matter, and this team's so far away from that. I know that, yes, the arguments to we need a playoff game, and we're wasting this time. And okay, great. You know what? You're right, but is this the right guy? Do I think that this group here can work themselves in it? They put themselves behind the 8 ball, but they're going to go out and compete like that every night. You know, the shots on goal and stuff like that. So I guess my expectations or my wants are a lot different than everybody else. My list of non-negotiables with the Red Wings is a lot more limited than everybody else. Whether that's right or wrong, I don't know. I really don't care.
I'm glad to hear you say that because I'm not gonna lie. I'm getting tired of getting pounded by people for saying the same thing you just said.
Hell yeah.
And I've been,
I mean,
you guys, I've been pounded by people. Mac, listen.
I know it's the same thing, and I look at it and I go, okay, well, I guess we're not talking to you.
Well,
I'm
you know what
talking
it
to
is?
the people that see, unfortunately, right? Whatever broke down and whatever, and we had to take a different road.
Mac, you know what it is though? It's a lot of times if you take the time to listen to a general manager, to a coach, he'll give you the answer. It might not be the answer that you're looking for, but he'll give you the answer. Here is a guy that sat there on April 19th, 2019, and flat out said, and if you don't believe me, go back and listen to his introductory press conference. Guys, this isn't about just getting into the playoffs. This is about getting back to that level that Darren McCarty talked about. And in my mind, Mac, you could say that it really started in 92. Okay, it had a really nice season, lost to a Blackhawk team that they probably shouldn't lose to, got upset in 93 against Leaf, got upset in 94, Jamie Baker, and then in 95 got to the finals and still had some lessons and some hard lessons to be learned after that. So it's about getting to that era. I empathize with people. I sympathize with people. I'm with you. I want more than anything, Darren, to go down to LCA for a playoff game. And when I say that, Darren, you and I are probably going to be in two different places. You're probably going to be inside the arena doing Darren McCarty things, shaking hands, kissing babies, talking to a bunch of your teammates. I want to go party out in that plaza. Ever since that arena has been built, that's my cool place. I just want to go hang out with people and watch the game in that beautiful plaza and watch how the Red Mile in Calgary. You saw that. How cool is that? And all those areas. I think that area around Little Caesars could be really cool. I want it. I empathize with you. I sympathize with you. But that doesn't mean that this team isn't going in the right direction. And Mac, you put it better than anybody. Put the eye test to it. Apply the eye test. Does this team look like they have better resolve? Does this team look, in my mind, a lot faster than they've looked in previous years? I know I've said this many times. Darren, this has been a really slow team. And they've been exposed at many times against faster teams. Darren, I like the direction it's going. I know people don't want to hear it, but I can't lie.
Well, it's almost like you forget, or if you missed out on where we were before Christmas, right? I mean, do people forget how bad it was?
Right.
Right, and what we were watching. So, and, just like Chase Emily in the chat said, Simon Edmondson is him, right? So is Elmer Soderblom. So is Marco Kasper. So is Johansson. So are all these young guys that are making, like Spenny loved it. And
I love it.
I love it too. Not backing down.
I don't love the helmet.
He was getting feistier earlier, and I don't like those helmets.
I'll tell you what, Shine needs to stay on this fucking team. He needs to.
Right, when I'm mentioning and I'm talking at the table and asking, are these guys fast? I see Dominic Shine across the ice, bang, hit a guy.
Yeah.
Boom, I see Mott, bang, hit a guy. I see guys, you'd never see that before. Yes, that energy, that love of the game, it's infectious, right? Like Stevie's talked about. Sean, you brought up the one thing, and I wish I was an editor, because I'd go back, if somebody has the time, like you said, go back to 2019 and cut Steve Yzerman clips, even to the fact of what he said at the beginning of this year, right? It's foundational, and the whole thing, it's how he sees it. It's not how we see it, or we want it. It's just, it takes a little bit more time, and with the young guys and the maturation of the Lucas Raymonds and the Mo Siders and the guys that you're expecting, it's slowly and surely. I think that, losing Andrew Kopp, who's starting to come into his own, that really hurts you for the 6 games. Now, you got, it doesn't get any easier. You got an afternoon game Saturday against Vegas, where it ain't gonna be easy. You just, like, there's no way out but through. So and if you find a way, so think about this: if you do find a way to snag one of those wild card, look at how hot you're one of those teams that is playing playoff hockey and just cruising them. What do we see in the NHL a lot of the times, right? These bottom teams that catch fire, and you see a 6, 7, 8 seed going to the conference finals. I'm not saying that about this team,
right,
but I'm saying that they'll have to be playing great hockey going into the playoffs, no matter who they play.
It's interesting. I had that very conversation with somebody, Darren, where they said to me, just get in. And I think what people do is they take exceptions and try to make it speak for the rule. Because if you look at some of those teams that went, the Kings team that won the Stanley Cup in 2012, I mean, they were dead. They also had Jonathan Quick. Okay, enough said. The Habs team that made that wild run to the finals back in 21, they had Carey Price, right? So there are other variables that kind of make that conducive. And a lot of times, Darren, it starts the St. Louis team that won, Binnington. And we can all take our shots at Binnington if you want. Did he show everybody what a money goaltender he was against the U.S.?
Playing out of his mind.
Right?
He's one of those money
He's
guys.
a money guy.
It's like when it comes down to it, can you make the save?
Yep.
And that's at the end of the day.
It is. There's still a pulse. There's still hope this year. But I think, Darren, a lot of these arguments that I hear and comparisons that I hear and pull out the name, whether it be Millen, whether it be Avila, some of the disasters around here, they are just not comparable to a guy that already did what he's in the process of doing right now in Tampa. And oh, by the way, Tampa is still relevant after all these years. And I point this out all the time, okay? Steve Yzerman started this process without a not ready for primetime Victor Hedman and without a not ready for primetime Steven Stamkos. How much easier would have this been, Mac, if he had those two young pieces already here? He didn't. Guys, I understand the frustration. I sympathize with you. I want the playoffs as well. But that doesn't mean you throw the baby out with the bathwater, man. Just don't, Mac. Not at all. Some pretty funny stuff, and I want to get Darren's opinion on something. I'm glad that you found that clip. If you missed it yesterday, Chris Chelios had some comments. He also had some comments with our own guy as well, but in Patty Kane. But when Chris Chelios came to town, I'm here to tell you, people lost their collective minds. They really did. Maybe Chris Chelios did. What did the locker room think about Chris Chelios coming to the Red Wings? We'll get into that in a second, but first, somebody talk about that unbelievable Detroit original Buddies.
Yeah, I'll tell you about Buddy's Pizza, because Buddy's Pizza has been helping out the city for over 70 years. Buddy's Pizza created the category of the original Detroit-style pizza and has been serving it since 1946. With 22 locations in Michigan, there is always a Buddy's Pizza near you. Buddy's is a cornerstone of the city of Detroit, being here for 79 years and is a dedicated community partner with notable partnerships with local organizations like Michigan Humane Society, Salvation Army, the Detroit Zoo, and more. Save 10% off your entire order using promo code 10MEAL. That's promo code number 10MEAL. Go find a location near you at buddiespizza.com. Buddy's Pizza, it's a Detroit staple.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Big injury injuries? Big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
You need to go if you're looking for the best sports wearables in Detroit, and that is shop.woodwardsports.com. Go there to get some merch. You got the Tigers cooking up. We got Tigers merch. Red Wings, Pistons, both fighting for the playoffs. Pistons not really fighting for them yet. They're in there, but the Red Wings fighting for a playoff spot. Gear up to enjoy those runs with merch at shop.woodwardsports.com.
All right, welcome back in. Spenny, you want to play that clip here?
Oh, yeah.
For people that did not see this last night, and I'm trying to, Mac, before we play the clip, who would be the comparable today, although they don't play the same position? Would this be like at trade deadline, the Wings making a move to get Brady Tkachuk? Would that be comparable? Cheli was one of the biggest enemies.
Who's your most hated guy?
Right.
Yeah.
And who's the guy that punishes your team? Right? Like you, do you want to play that? Do you want me to answer the question? Do you like the first thing that I thought when Cheli traded her is at least I don't have to chase him around and watch him try to kill Sergey and Stevie every time, right? Like stuff like this. But I think it's sort of because at that time, wasn't it Steve Thomas, Cheli, Wendell Clark?
Wendell Clark, yeah.
So it was a bunch of big moves, right? You're adding Wendell Clark too, who gets overshadowed who all those days in Toronto. So I think it was more excitement. I think it was on. I think Sergey made a joke like, "Oh, thank God now I don't like the back of my legs are gonna heal or something like that," But the one thing about Chris Chelios. And you said it back then, his wait a year, everybody will love him. And we've seen, because of how he endeared himself to the city and how beloved he is to this day, there's only, the way that he's done it, it has to be the person. Chris Chelios' nickname in the locker room is the Godfather, right? The Godfather. He's the greatest, teammate, guy's guy. Always looks out for everybody's heard the stories about, so what happens if you, okay, let me rewind. If you do make the playoffs, let me tell you what happens, right? Usually your minor league team, gets and you have a deeper run in the playoffs, so they call them the Black Aces, and that means some of the young guys, whether the draft picks, so it would be like the Danielsons and the Sandal Pelicans and all these guys. They would come and they would practice after, they would skate either before or after team practice, sort of being a black ace that if somebody goes down in the playoff run, they can draw off this roster. They don't practice it separate, sort of with the team and stuff like that. Well, no matter if Cheli, all the times that he was here, he'd have the Black Aces at his house for barbecues and made sure they were taking care of all town. They had the hookups so that they could, So, a few of the guys had to stay sort of ready just in case, but with our team, you knew that they weren't going to play. So wanted to make sure that they enjoyed themselves also and were hooked up. To this day, if you need to get a hold of somebody and you having trouble, ask Cheli. Yeah. Cheli will know.
It's a true story.
And I think you see, not only, but it tells you the testament of the human being, right? How he integrated in here with Cheli's Chili. And, downtown, if you've ever gone, if you're there for the 08 celebration for the Cup and just everything that he means around opening day and outside and just, he endeared himself to this city. And I think that there's nobody like him because, it sort of took the hate off, you know what I'm saying? There's a competition and with Chicago and stuff like that, but there's also this respect, and I don't think you get anywhere else. So, I think that anyways, it has to be weirder for him.
No question. To this day, I can tell you, Darren, and who the hell am I? If I text him, I guarantee you I'll get a text back within a day.
Yeah.
I guarantee to this day.
Yeah.
Think about how long he's been gone.
Think how many hockey people he knows.
Oh, it's insane.
And then multiply that by 10 because he knows that many in every world. Every world. Like, I remember when we won in 08, when I went out to Malibu for his cup party with
Malibu Mafia.
Tom Laird was there. Tom Hanks was on the beach. Sylvester Stallone, Higgy was out there. But what a great time! But just hanging out. But he knows everybody.
Yep, absolutely.
McGinley, Cusack, all the mafia.
So, if you're wondering why we're talking about this, here's some comments from Chris Chelios from his perspective about when he found out he was going to the Detroit Red Wings.
Hey, I got traded to Detroit, walking in. And thank God I got traded with Ol Samuelson, who everybody hated, Wendell Clark, who wasn't a fan favorite, and then there was Billy Ranford. So I wasn't alone in this, but yeah, it was something. And I told you when I walked into the bathroom to wet my hair before the game and saw myself for the first time in the Red Wings jersey, I just cringed. I just put my head down, walked back out there, and got on the ice and did my thing. But it worked out, and I couldn't have been. That first game back in Chicago with Detroit, I got booed off the ice. Scotty Bowman, after the second period, told me to take my stuff off because I was keeping the crowd in the game. So I watched the third period from a suite up in the United Center. True story. Thanks, Scotty. No, but I mean,
it's so true. And why did Chelly take 24? Because him and Proby were that tight.
Yeah.
So they were that, and there wasn't anybody better to wear that number, but I forgot that. But I remember the game, how bad he got. Like, it was like Benedict Arnold had nothing on Chelly.
And he was one of their own, man. I mean,
he was beloved.
He was. Listen, Mac, I'll go back even a decade further when the Habs made that crazy trade for a past his prime Denny Savard for Chris Chelios. People in Chicago went nuts. It was the greatest day ever. And here's Denny Savard, who was, people don't realize how good that guy was in his prime, mind you. Mac, I'll never forget, we were doing a show on the radio called Ice Time. And it was an hour straight, and I'm not joking, an hour straight of call after call after call after call where I had my finger on the dump button because words that we can say on this network you can't say on the radio. Fuck Chelios.
Fox
Dump.
too.
You're not going to get me again. Fuck Chelios. Dump. Fuck that guy. Bump. We had to press dump constantly. And it was funny because, I take my job seriously, and it really is kind of a voice of reason thing. Okay, I get it. I have to take emotion out of it. That doesn't mean that like we were talking about earlier, Mac. If you're frustrated at the Red Wings right now, I get it. But that doesn't mean that we should just blow it all up and it's never going to happen. This team is going in the right direction. And that's what I told people. I said, guys, cheap shot Chelios, all of it. You are going to love this guy within a year. Probably sooner. When you watch what he does for your team, when you watch how he is going to get under the skin, especially, Mac, my thinking was, all right, Colorado, Detroit's not going anywhere. It's not, okay? Colorado kind of had the best of it the next couple years, but I would rather have him going after Forsberg, trying to get under even Mr. Sakic's stick. Yes, I want that on my team, and I say that about Brady Tkachuk. Is it safe to say he's the most hated guy right now by Red Wing fans? Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, I think so.
There's nobody else really loved.
Maybe still Crosby.
But here's the thing, Spenny, and we've talked about it, but in less than a second, you'd take him on your team.
Oh, absolutely.
There's not that, it doesn't, and Chelly didn't have that Lemieux hate, right? Because it's disrespect. It was what an ass. And it wasn't even trying to give, because it wasn't like Tyrese Halliburton, because that's just that's more Sean Avery shit. But like Chelly, just because he was going to play that hard, you knew you were going to get guys didn't want to play against him, and the fact that he could play so many minutes and play till he was 48, 50 years. How old was he when we won a cup?
Never got gassed. Never. So he was.
And
47. I think he was 47 in 08.
Dude,
yeah.
the desert rides, we all used to do. We got it from him. Is riding the bike in the sauna, right? Like for a little extra every morning. Like and here's the one thing that Chris Chelios, like I don't know when I think he's a vampire. He's part vampire. He says it's the Greek blood. That's what he says. But he worked as hard, off the ice. Dude, we're in Birmingham. He used to ride his bike from Losser and Maple down to Joe Louis Arena.
Jeez.
And back. Like, just ride his bike, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Nuts. You know what's not nuts, though? You need to get a haircut. I know you're looking at this one. I'm letting it flow. You can tell that the...
all-time day at Lady Jane's today. I'll just say that.
Is it all-time day at Lady Jane's today?
It is.
Benny called all-time day at Lady Jane's today. You might want to come into the epicenter here in Birmingham. But if you can't get any Lady Jane's, because one of their talented stylists will take the chore of getting a haircut. Maybe a hot leather neck shave, the towel treatment, you name it, whatever you need. Come on in. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 7 days a week. Why? It's wicked awesome.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
Let's give it up for David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Soft.
If you're looking to buy or sell your home, Mark White should be your first choice. He can save up to $5,000 to your closing costs and get you into your dream home. Visit him at markwhitesells.com or call him at 248-290-8242. Mark White will get you into your dream home.
I have a full confession to make to you guys. I love draft season. I do. I love draft season. But eventually you kind of get to the point where I'm sick of doing the mock draft simulator. I'm sick of hearing about it. I'm ready for the draft. I am. I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm totally ready for the draft. But with that being said, something has happened in the last couple days, especially in light of the Lions. I hope you guys take this in the context in which I'm saying it. Inactivity here in early March, okay? The blanket reactionary armchair quarterback reactions are killing me, Mac. Okay, I don't know if people know this, but all right, there's a draft coming up, and in that draft, you can draft a lot of new players that could help your team as early as next year. And in that draft, by the way, this is my favorite bit: the people that go nuts over who they took in round 1. KG, I don't know if I should tell the people this.
Uh-oh.
There's a round 2.
Really?
A round 3.
Okay, you bullshit now.
Listen, round 4, 5, and 6.
Get the fuck.
There is. There's, and so when people lose their mind, so the last couple days, I've seen some people, including some people on this very network, that are making rash, emotional decisions about the direction of the Lions in 2025. And it's Mac, it's blowing my mind.
In March.
In March.
Right? And I get it. You maybe had a wish list for free agents or whatever, but I didn't know when we changed from the fact that we just got off the Brad Holmes bandwagon. If we were on it, this is when you're in the middle of it. This is part of it. And to me, Sean, having the conversation, you lose, whether you're not resigning guys like a Zeitler or you're resigning guys like Barnes or whatever, whether I would see it coming or not, I'm sitting back going, oh, okay. Now they're not making a move or they spending big money to get the end right now. Oh, okay. There must be a contingency plan. Oh, they got a draft. I'm more interested in, okay, where does that third pick they got for Aaron Glenn 102? Okay, where does that play out? You're in a position where you need specific players, like positional players. You don't just need a whole bunch of different guys. I have never felt that lack of direction from Brad Holmes. Transparency to his direction, yes, that's where we're in right now. And you could say it's okay. Wow, this is feeling weird or this is different, but it's March 15th. Do you not have to wait till the draft? Do you not have to wait till training camp? Do you not, Sean, at the end of the day, you know what I came down to? I don't give a shit. This team's going to make the playoffs. And you know what? No matter if it's on the road or at home or whatever like this, I want to see who's healthy. And if we have this lineup with these players that are healthy, that I don't care who it is that he assembles, we're gonna win.
I like that chances.
And then we're in a great spot to win. And then we learn from our mistakes and whatever this and that. But these are the guys in every other position. Yes, do we need to add that? We just talked about what we tried to do. Right back in 99 to keep it rolling, we traded for Chelio Samuelson, Bill Ranford, Wendell Clark, trying to get it, and it didn't work. Right? So he's not making these, they're not there to make these big moves yet, but maybe it's in the draft. Maybe these guys that they have that they're re-signing, they have more potential. The biggest question mark, right? And I think it all starts as, you re-signed Barnes. Well, you know what? To me, he was a different player, and they feel that can do what they want with what their system is. Marcus Davenport, he's never healthy. Well, for the deal that they got for whatever else they felt it was. Getting rid of Smith, Zadarius Smith, right? Getting rid of him. Because I kept calling him Hunter.
Yeah.
And somebody corrected me the other day, so we had a moment. But the fact is it's in Holmes we trust. 100. If you trust him. If you don't, then don't. Like Neil was saying yesterday, then just be honest.
That's okay.
That's okay. Like there's some people in the chat that I've seen consistency.
Really okay, but it's okay.
No, but then you're going to question them. It's the same thing as Yzerman. I mean, there's a lot of symmetries along. Okay, you're going to be that way. There's nothing I can do to tell you why I'm not that way and why I'm going to let it play out. It just seems like all these things you're talking about are supposed to be conversations around training camp.
No, I'm with Mac, and it's so funny because the flip side to that, Spenny and I had to deal with that last week with Neil and KG, where we were talking. Listen, some of the names, do I wish the Lions got in?
Yeah.
Yep, I do. I'm not going to change my tune, but the flip side to that, and this comes back to, for whatever reason, man, critical thinking just goes out the door. Oh, so now you guys don't believe in Brad?
Yeah.
No, I do believe in Brad. I believe in Brad 100%. And if Brad is totally cool with not getting involved in some of that, I'm totally cool with it. I'm going to follow Brad because right now, Mac, to your point, Brad Holmes has not given me much reason to think that he doesn't have this figured out, okay? But both things can be true. You know what? I might want a Chris Chelios at the trade deadline. I might want a Wendell Clark at the trade deadline to see how much is left in the tank, et cetera, et cetera. And if he doesn't get it, I'm okay with that too. And how am I okay with that? Because I've seen what he's done in previous seasons. So now I'm going to take the flip side of that. So all the people out there that somehow thought that Spenny or KG or Neil and I were now anti-Brad, which was insane in and of itself. I hope you can admit that now. Well, I hope you hear what side of the tact I'm taking. To these people that have already made a decree on March 13th that the Detroit Lions aren't going to be as good next year, are you new to the NFL? Are you unaware that there's a draft coming up? Are you unaware that in this thing we call the NFL draft, Brad Holmes has been pretty damn good at finding value? Oh, by the way, there's also a scrap heap where you can go find somebody else's garbage, and I'm not saying it's going to be your treasure, but it's going to be a fit. And you mentioned it. Look, Derek Barnes at face value. Derek Barnes. Whoop-de-fucking-do, right? He's a great fit here.
Yeah.
I want puzzle pieces, man. Spenny, what's your take on Zeitler?
I said it yesterday. I mean, would I rather have Zeitler than not have him? Absolutely. But I think the right guard spot on the Detroit Lions is the most insulated position in the NFL because you're playing in between Frank Ragnow and Penei Sewell. Sure. We've seen guys like Kevin Zeitler. Graham Glasgow had a lot of fucking success when he was at right guard. Yodi, Dan Skipper, all of those guys have played snaps and played games at that right guard spot. All of them have played to an extremely high level. I think, I think Graham Glasgow is going to move back over to right guard. He's going to have a much better year. And I am 100% in confidence that Christian Mahogany is going to be an upper echelon guard in this league. I am really high on that kid, and I'm ready to give him that left guard spot and then run it with that. Would I like Zeitler back so that frees up Graham Glasgow to be more of your third or your fourth interior offensive lineman so he can kind of bump around? Yeah, but it's okay. Kevin Zeitler, this is probably going to be his last year in the NFL. He wanted to get a bag. He wanted to be closer to home in Nashville, so he went to Tennessee, and they're paying him $9 million. Good for him. Does it suck?
Changed?
Yeah, but I'm not freaking out.
Can I throw this out there? And I hope people remember us talking about it because we've talked so much about this. What's changed now that Zeitler has left, okay? The Detroit Lions still needed an edge. They still needed a defensive lineman. And I've said this probably 31 times on this network. They were going to go after an IOL. They were going to go after an... So, KG, what's changed? For people losing their shit.
Yeah.
Brad was going to draft an interior lineman. That was one of their needs.
Yep.
Probably with one of the first two picks. Brad was going to go with an interior lineman. I'm convinced of it.
Yeah, no, I'm convinced second round pick, it is going to be an offensive lineman. And much to Spenny's point, I absolutely would have loved if Kevin Zeitler would have returned. I just don't think they were willing to pay him upwards of $9 million. Even off the year that he had, he's older. Like I said on the morning show, you're getting in a position now where you want to get younger on the offensive line because we do understand Zeitler's good, but he's 35 years old. That wear and tear eventually catches up with you. And I'm not mad because you have a guy in the building in Christian Mahogany, like Spenny illustrated, that looks like he's primed for the role. It looks like he's ready to go. And if you have that guy on a rookie deal, then let's line him up and let's see how it looks. But overall, this offensive line is going to be fine. They just need depth. But even if you have to trot Graham Glasgow out there another year, I'm not necessarily mad at that. Like Spenny pointed out, if you put him between Ragnow and Sewell, maybe he looks a little bit better. We all know he's getting older as well. So, but I expect them to make a move. And there's still options even on the free agent market. If you wanted to target like a Mekhi Becton, I wouldn't be mad at that. But it most likely is coming through the draft.
We all want shiny things, Mac. And you brought up, and my brain goes back to hockey. That's my default mode, okay? We all want shiny things. So it was great when the Red Wings went and got Wendell Clark. It was great when they got Chris Chelios. It was great when they got one of the greatest villains, okay? But what did those shiny things get? That was a team, in fairness to them, I think Darren would say it. They played so much hockey, 95, 96, 97, 98. Eventually, they're going to run out of gas. You know what wasn't shiny is when you added guys who were fits. Did anybody have a party when the Red Wings added a guy by the name of Bob Rouse? Did anybody have a party when the Red Wings added a guy by the name of Larry Murphy, who was booed, literally booed out of Toronto? It was embarrassing. Poor guy playing in his home, booed the shit out of him. Right? Bye-bye, see you later, bye-bye. I get the need for shiny things, and I'm a guy that wants shiny things too, but, Mac, how often is it the fits that put a team over the top?
No, it's the plug and play.
Yep.
It's because you got your stars. You draft your stars. You know, when you do it right, you build through it. Like Byrne, $10 super chat. Are the Lions hitting the first round? Yes. Are the Lions hitting late rounds and with free agents? I think some hit and miss. Next level is hitting developmental guys, extend the Super Bowl window 15 years. And I think to that point, right? Brad Holmes is doing Alouette in a different way because of the league, but along the same lines of what Steve Eisman is doing. You're drafting and then you're building, and then you're re-signing your guys. And you know that $9 million that you didn't want to pay to Zeitler because you have to save some money for your own guys. Because we'd all rather see, you want them to spend that $9 million and not sign Kirby. It comes down to allocation money to positions, and I think that they missed out on some guys. Some guys went out and took the dollar. Yeah. But they'll adjust. I think Spenny brought up the biggest point. The least position to worry about on this team, if there's one to be the weakest, that can be the weakest link, is your right guard. Mm-hmm. Why? Because of the guys beside him and insulate him. We've seen development. We saw development in Mahogany. So I think you're right. I think Mahogany's ready to take that step on the other side between Decker and Ragnow and let Glasgow, slide back in. So, I mean, but again, to the point is you got to start thinking, because like we brought up yesterday, how much longer do Decker and Ragnow have? They're a couple more years at the max. So as you're doing this, right, and it makes sense when you say, well, I can't pay Zeitler $9 million. Yeah. Because I got to save it for a couple younger guys, or I got to go look for my new center or stuff like that. So, and I'll be able to find it. Sean, you brought up something that I want, like, the concerns that people have, it's just out of context to the time. Don't you have to wait? Because I think one of the things that we're not used to that will be another thing that Brad Holmes shows that he will pull out is the trade deadline chip that he hasn't done or needed to yet. But to me, he keeps developing his game plan, right? Like he keeps adding tools to his tool belt. Yeah. And I think that when you're looking to plug and play that specific person, maybe we let everything else play out around the league and you can go get that person at that time. I don't think that's out of the question too. So to that aspect, isn't the trade deadline also like another form of free agency?
It is, absolutely.
Let's get into that after the break because we're a little over here. But before we go to the break, Great Lakes in the Woodward Sports Chat with a $10 super chat. He says, what is more likely, the Lions waiting the price tag of Trey Hendrickson to go down to trade, or is there someone in the first round the Lions would trade up for capital for? I believe it's the first round, not even close.
The price not coming down on Trey.
Yeah, and the price to trade for Trey Hendrickson isn't what's stopping the Lions from doing it. It's the price to retain Trey Hendrickson. Right. Literal price of $35 million.
Which you can't do, Spenny, correct? Yeah. Are we sitting here going with what we've built? Yes. Would that be unbelievable to have? Yeah. But what does that do to the rest of your team or being able to move forward? Yeah, you can go out and buy that. Yeah. Jay buying nothing else for the next year.
And you could do the mercenary 1 year thing, but I don't know if he wants to spend a second or third round pick on a 1 year, if this works, it works, it doesn't, it doesn't.
Trey Hendrickson's not going to play on that 1 year. He's not going to play unless he gets signed to an extension. And the whole Myles Garrett thing, me and Easy, we said Trey Hendrickson's never going to happen because he wants to get paid. Myles Garrett was because he was already on that $20 million a year contract. Right. But then when he got extended to $40 million, you got your $40 million a year pass rusher already on this team. You just need ancillary pieces. But we're going to go to break. We're going to come back. We're going to keep talking some Lions. But first, let me tell you about Feldman Automotive. Feldman of Novi, Detroit's #1 Chevrolet dealer and the Chevrolet Dealer of the Year for 6 consecutive years. They got a lot of deals this month. Get a 2025 Chevy Silverado for just $213 a month. You can also get a 2025 Chevy Equinox for only $286 per month. Come see George Hawes and his team at Feldman Chevrolet of Novi. Feldman Chevrolet of Novi, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Love Woodward sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full-line merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today. Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts Woodward Sports. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports is at it again, giving away more cash and prizes than anyone in Detroit. Get into our March Bracket Challenge powered by Jugga-Nathan Neurosurgery. If you have the biggest basketball brain and you get first place, you can win $1,000 in cold hard cash. Second place gets a weekend in Grand Traverse Resort at Traverse City, including brunch at Erie and golf. Third place, 2 club seats to see the Pistons versus Bucks with food and drinks courtesy of RHB Laboratories in Troy. You can pre-register now at woodwardsportsbracket.com. Then after Selection Sunday, fill out your bracket and your chance at $1,000 in cash money and more. Go to woodwardsportsbracket.com right now and register. All powered by the best in the game, Jugga-Nathan Neurosurgery and Woodward Sports.
You know, it's funny, Spenny, we're going to talk about what the Lions have done, okay? But you were talking about this heading into the break, and I think this goes hand in hand, all right? So yeah, Myles Garrett would have been great, right? We all know what that was now. He played everybody. Good for him. Tip of the cap. I mean that. That's what it's all about. You get your bag. You do what's best for you. I'm not going to hate on a guy for that, okay? Hendrickson, whatever the case may be. Okay, like Zeitler, listen, what has changed? Were the Lions going to go get an edge or a D lineman early on while you're in? Nothing's changed. They still would have. Were they going to get an interior lineman? Nothing's changed. They still would have. And I still don't think all the years, Mac, that I've been a quote-unquote draft beatnik, if you will, one thing that I've noticed is I still don't think we know what the teams and the league really thinks about these players. Because in January, when you start to see the mock drafts come out, they're almost useless. Now, I'm a hypocrite. I read every one of them. Absolutely, positively. Do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of somebody who tries to tell me that they know what Steve Yzerman's going to do. Once you tell me that, now I know you have no fucking clue what you're talking about. None. As soon as you say those words to me, it's like, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
Who's is there anybody that knows what Steve Yzerman?
Nobody does. You know that the man's a steel trap. That's what part of the reason that makes him such a good general manager. So that's the way that the mock drafts are in January. We don't have any clue. Now we're getting to the point in time after the combines and more leading into April, you start to hear more whispers. And I think you start to see a more batten down, if you will, look at what the first round might be. Are there guys that might be available? You know what's really weird? What I've seen is a guy that was in the top 10 for a lot of people not too long ago in James Pierce at Tennessee. All of a sudden, he's in shouting distance of the Lions now.
I'm still not buying it, but yeah.
Right, but nor am I.
Yeah, to your point.
Do you remember a few weeks ago, Mike Green, the stud from Marshall? He was in shouting distance. He's not in shouting distance anymore. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, he's gone like this. Even with the character issues, this is a guy that's going to go long before the Lions draft. So to that point, you guys, I don't know what's changed. Yes, they're probably going to get an end. They're probably going to get a DL. They're probably going to get an IOL. Like that, nothing's really changed. And I think what has changed, Mac, in the time that we've watched football, guys like you and I, you collect guys up front now. You collect them. You collect guys in your defensive backfield. We grew up in an era, Mac, where we had the silver rush, where there were 4 guys predominantly on the field for first, second, and third down. There was the steel curtain in Pittsburgh. There was the doomsday defense in Dallas. Those days are long gone. You've got interchangeable pieces in there right now. So, with that being said, what's your overall feeling? Spenny, I'm going to start with you. What's your overall feeling on what the Lions have done so far? When you go down the list, depth signings, very important signings, but what's your overall feeling?
I mean, I'm neutral. Like, the DJ Reed signing was amazing. It was a fantastic signing, one of the best contracts given out so far in NFL free agency. They haven't really done much outside of that. I like bringing back Levi. I think that's important. He showed he could play 16 games last year. Mm-hmm. He has a very good pressure percentage. When you look at his pressure percentage compared to the other defensive linemen that got signed yesterday, or the other defensive tackles, he is second behind only Jonathan Allen when it comes to behind Milton Williams when it comes to pressure percentage and that interior defensive line, and he's making a fifth of what Milton Williams is making, and he showed he could stay healthy last year, so that's a good signing, I believe, to get back some depth there. But I'm not mad at fans if they wanted more. I'd like to see them bring in an edge. It doesn't have to be a Trey Hendrickson or a Myles Garrett or somebody like that, but I'd like to see them replace Zadarius Smith with somebody you can bring in and put out there. And having Marcus Davenport, Josh Pascal, whoever that is, and then a first-round rookie, because I believe that's what Brad Holmes is trying to do. I believe Brad Holmes is going to use capital to trade up in the first round of the draft to get his guy to pair next to Aiden Hutchinson for the next 5 years on a rookie deal. And I'm okay with that. But I can understand why fans aren't happy with them doing nothing technically, even though they made the depth signings that I liked and the DJ Reed deal was great, but I still think you need to sign somebody on the edge. Somebody. Anybody on the edge. That, like a warm body out there. Because I like having Marcus Davenport there, but realistically you can't expect him to stay healthy for an entire season. So I think you need to add another veteran out there to have as your rotational piece.
Mac, I'm at the point right now, and Spenny, I'm not going to lie. I love your idea of the whole idea of trading up a little bit.
I think
that's
what he do.
Then all of a sudden, you know what? You might be in Mike Green territory.
But that's what, so there's a whole bunch to this, right?
Yep.
Because what this has told me in this offseason is that they pinpointed, like DJ Reed, like you said, they got the corner. Right, they went out. They got Lopez. They got the line. They're doing that, but they looked at their own guys.
Right,
they looked at their own guys and said, "Our own free agents, we like to the fact they haven't made the splash yet."
Yeah.
So, but I'm lockstep with Spenny is that because Brad Holmes waits to the draft to do the splash.
You got it
right. So to the factors, my question would be, pay attention to when Spenny starts breaking guys down that you don't think you're in reach for, but you might be, because all these moves that you want for this free agent might be the moves that you do in the draft to get somebody you want. I agree with you as far as we need more bodies, but I think those guys are out there. Mm-hmm. I'm not. Yeah. I don't think they're selling their soul on Davenport. I think that he's just the buffer and the support system to whoever that guy will be, and maybe it is one of these young guys.
I think this is, and I've heard other people say this, so I don't want to pawn this off like this is my idea. I think this is a very top-heavy top 90. I do. Mm-hmm. I think there's a hell of a lot of talent in this top 90. And in particular, if you do just a little research, okay? Just a little. Take a look at the names being thrown out there as potential picks by the Lions, just with the first two, at 30 and 60. Take a look at that. And then, oh, by the way, add in the fact that, as KG just said, this is what he does, okay? If he's in that area, and James Pierce is sitting there at 24.
If he likes him, he'll move up.
I'm going to make a phone call.
Yeah.
I love this guy. I've had a circle. I don't want to take the chance that he falls to 30. I'm going to bless you. Bless you. I'm going to bless
Times
you.
3.
I'm going to make a move to move up because we've got some capital and we've got some wiggle room. So that's why I say this again. I get it. I wanted shiny things. I get it.
We all do.
But to drop, oh, what is this team doing? I think we're going to take a step back. on March 12th
is aggressive.
It's ridiculous.
And that's
15-win team.
That's
It's
the society we live in now. It's the TikTok society that they want everything right now. And if it doesn't happen right now, it's never going to happen, and the team's going to fall apart. And if they don't add 4 edges in this draft class, they'll never have anybody that can rush the passer. And Brad Holmes isn't going to bring in anybody to help them impact because it's just going to fall apart, and then the Lions are never going to win a game again. They're going to go to the bottom of the division. It's never going to happen. They're never going to see the Super Bowl. Brad Holmes is going to get fired. Dan Campbell's going to get some kind of foot cancer, and it'll never happen. The Lions are falling apart. Aiden Hutchinson will never be the same after his injury, and this defensive line will never get to the quarterback. And it's okay. Like, you got to breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
And the rest of the division's getting better.
Yeah.
The rest of the division, oh my God.
And when you see the Bears and the Vikings overpaying for guys, which they are allowed to do because they have a rookie quarterback on a rookie deal, so they can bring some guys in. Yeah, and they're getting bigger in the trenches, and that's fine. I am good with what they did at defensive tackle. I think they're set with their rotational defensive tackles now. When you look at, you brought in Roy Lopez, a good rotational piece. You re-signed Levi Onwuzurike to kind of take some of that pressure of not having Aleem McNeil to begin the season. You've got DJ Reader. I liked what Miles Adams did in his short amount of, I'm not saying he's a difference maker, relax, but to bring him in and play a couple snaps here or there, that's fine. I think Wingo is going to have a very good role on this defensive line next year. And then when Aleem McNeil comes back, that is a very good rotation of defensive tackles. But I'd still like one more veteran edge on the outside.
And you know what? At the end of the day, and we were talking about this on Monday, I'm telling you right now, Lions aren't going 15-2.
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
No.
And
but
I
they're
will
still
say this
going to win
once.
the division.
I will say this once. I'll say it 1,000 times. If they go 10-7 and win the division, I'm totally cool with that.
Absolutely.
The ultimate success or failure with this team will be determined in January and February. Yep. Period. End of story. And people will lose their collective shit. You know it. I know it. I don't even want to think about it. I'm serious. I don't even want to think about it. The first week of December going, I told you guys, this is all. Hey, Spenny, you went on that rant. Yep. And I sat there going, I knew Spenny was a slapdick. I knew it. And there are the Lions with a 2-game lead in the division. Yeah. You know, maybe not the prettiest record. KG, maybe they're, I don't know, 9-6 at the time.
Yep.
That'd be cool.
I don't care.
I mean, the wins really don't matter. And, you know, a lot of people thought the same thing last year, and they end up winning 15 games in the face of hella injuries. So whatever happens in the win column happens. It's all about getting to the playoffs, winning in the playoffs.
Hey, remember that unbelievable season the Wings had, your first Stanley Cup? You guys locked third. Yeah, you guys locked up the presidents about 3 months before the season ended, right? Oh, wait, you didn't?
No, not that year. No, that was the year before.
You get my point.
We lost in the conference finals. We set the league record.
62 wins. Break the record for most wins in a season. Ran away with the President's Trophy. Got knocked out by Colorado in 6 games. The next year just meandered their way through the season, right, Mac? Just don't pay any attention to us. Yep. And end up winning the Stanley Cup.
That's the whole. To me, like when you said that, I'll take 10-7 health. I'll take whatever we make the playoffs with, and we're healthy.
Mm-hmm. That's what
it's availability. That's the number. That's the number one thing, because this talent, the roster that they put together and continue to put together, isn't gonna be worse. Your top guys are getting better, right? Your younger guys are gonna get better.
Now, the wagons they had, by the way, 02 and 08 were the wagons for those teams. That Mac, those 2 teams were, okay, start to finish.
So, and even with the wagon in 02, right, we still ran into
that close, right? That close, really.
Well, I mean, dude, like, but it's the perseverance, right? Yep. And that's the experience, I think, of not panicking and knowing what to do through the rest of it. So hopefully that's what, even though they didn't finish it off, but that experience helps them.
And Poor Spenny, we haven't been on time one time today.
You're fine. Let's keep going till 12:10, and we'll mix the breaks together.
Okay.
Burn in the Woodward Sports Chat says, remember in 2011 the Lions had a rookie quarterback and built a team with all free agents. Window was open. I fell into a coma in 2014. Did we run it back in 2015?
I love that you said that, because I'm serious. I have talked to multiple guys from that team that they knew 2014 was their window. Like, I'm not that. They didn't really hide it either.
Yeah.
They were like, it's either going to happen this year or we're really afraid that you have to start peeling away the layers. And as good as that team was, it was a very good team. Remember, we thought our defensive coordinator was the smartest man in the history of men, and he would have been a head coach for the next 15 years, and it still hasn't happened. But guys on that team, and Mac, I think more often than not, guys know. You know how big a window is. You know, is this our last ride, et cetera, et cetera. And that was a team, to your point, Byrne, you're absolutely right. Multiple guys from that team told me, and I'm not going to say who, that they knew that year that was their window.
A 1-year window is crazy.
Really? That was, well, you have to remember the starting point, too. You were just, 5 years previous, the worst team that ever existed.
It's a fact.
You know,
It's a fact.
They knew. So they knew. They were like, okay, this is all coming together. Next year it'll start to change. And then next year when it started to change, one of the best wide receivers our eyes have ever seen said, I'm not doing this again.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this again.
Before we get too far off of it, what Brad Holmes has done in free agency, like Sean said, you filled a lot of your depth needs. And I think Detroit Lions fans need to go back and look at the list of free agents on this Lions team from last year. It wasn't like all the superstars. Like, it's not Kirby Joseph or Amon-Ra St. Brown or these guys. There were a lot of free agents that the Lions lost that were important depth pieces throughout this roster, and you had to go out there and you had to replace them with guys. That's why they brought back Anthony Pittman. That's why they re-signed Ezekiel Turner. That's why they signed Stewart from the Colts. And I thought, a guy who sits in that same seat you do, Sean, from 5 to 7 on the Woodward Heavyweight, shout out, handsome, debonair individual, said that the most important thing that the Lions need to wrap up, or the number one list on his list for free agency, was that defensive tackle rotation. I believe he said that on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday morning, a handsome, debonair individual by the name of Brad Holmes, who is the current GM for the Detroit Lions, went out there and he signed you 2 defensive tackles. And now you have that room locked up with rotation. So I'm happy with it. Like I said, would I like to see them to add a big defensive end for their rotation to pair with with a rookie that they draft? Absolutely, but it's probably not going to happen. They're going to get a depth piece.
Mac, honest to God, one of the things that I will never, ever understand is how people can't figure out you build with the draft, you add with free agency. I'll never. I've had that argument, and Lord knows Steve's living it. Darren, again, I hate to harken back to your days. Look at how many guys you guys picked up through the draft, and then you could go pick and pluck and put this guy in here and pick up there. You build through the draft. The base of this foundation, the concrete has been poured. It has been frozen in place for years now, Mac. It really has. We've got the foundation of this place. We've done a great job on the first floor of this place. Upstairs, we're doing a little more work, right? There's a little more work that needs to be done. Chase wants to have like this, that, and the other thing in his room. So you know what? That's the project that we're going to take on this summer. And that's where we're at right now. And yes, you can do that via the draft. You can do that via free agency. And I'm telling you right now, you can do it when guys get cut. You can.
And I hear a bunch of people saying the Lions got worse, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Does this team right now, on paper, before the draft, before the rest of free agency, are they as good as the Detroit Lions team last year, week 1? Maybe not. Maybe not. You can make that argument, maybe not. They still have a draft to make up for that. Are they better than the Detroit Lions team that was on the field on week 17? Abso-fucking-lutely.
Yeah.
Because the biggest thing, the biggest impact signing or free agent or addition to this team is going to be a healthy Aiden Hutchinson, because before he went out, he was the defensive player of the fucking year. So there's your $40 million edge. There's your Myles Garrett. Aiden Hutchinson being healthy.
And can we come back? Can we come back to the very
healthy.
beginning of this? Oh, by the way, there's a draft that has 7 rounds with a guy that's kind of shown himself to be a shaman. Can we give him credit? He's kind of had some success in the draft, and there's camp. And there's other guys there are so many different ways to add to this team right now. And I keep falling back on this. Do you trust Brad Holmes? I don't think Brad Holmes is giving you any reason not to. All right, we'll continue some of the Lion chatter. He's Darren McCarty, Sean Belegian sitting for Neil Rule. The gang's all here. KG, Chase, and of course, Spenny. More Lion chatter because the NFL is king and the Lions are king of the jungle here. Like it or not, that's just the reality. On Woodward Sports, before we get there, who's going to tell the people about Dr. Pierce?
Is that where we go? Where do you want to
I'll tell them about Planet Fitness.
We're so
Planet
far behind, Spenny.
Planet Fitness, the home of the judgment-free zone, where anybody can get a full-body workout in 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. You get all that for just $15 a month, or you can upgrade to the Black Card and get use of amenities like hydro massage, total body enhancement, and access to over 2,500 locations worldwide. Join in club or online at planetfitness.com. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential. And let me tell you about Caesar Sportsbook. Caesar Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports. Use promo code Woodward1000 to get your first bet up to $1,000 back if it doesn't hit in risk-free bonus bets. Scan the QR code above my head. Use code word Woodward1000. Like you said, first bet doesn't hit, you'll get it back in bonus bets if you use the code word Woodward1000. Caesar Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Join Dr. Jeff Pierce here every Tuesday, Big D Energy, and Thursdays. Yesterday on Ermanni and Edwards, where he offers top-notch injury insight to all your professional teams and to you personally. Dr. Jeff Pierce helped me win 4 Stanley Cups, so why wouldn't he help you? Go to MichiganSportsAndSpine.com today or call 248-426-9944.
So Spenny does these show planner sheets. And it's funny, Spenny, I apologize. I didn't look ahead. Our brains were on the exact same wavelength. Mm-hmm. When I turned the page, here's the question that Spenny has. 12-10 break. Does free agency change what you think the Lions will do in the draft? Well, I brought that up like 15 minutes ago. Like, Spenny, and seriously, I mean, to say that we're on the same page. Mac, do you know what's changed? Nothing. I think we're educated enough around here to know what the Lions need. Now, you're going to have the people out there that say that we need a quarterback. You know that. We're things like that. You're not going to get your starting quarterback, by the way, out of the draft for the 2024-2025 season. So let's just put that on the back burner. Jared Goff's going to be the starter. And by the way, I feel really good about that. But Mac, what's changed? I know there's a level of disappointment. I know that some people are, letting emotions speak for themselves and everything. We're all guilty of it. We're all guilty of it at times. But what's changed? Yeah, I want some support on the offensive line. I want a couple bodies on the defensive line. You know what? Maybe mix in another linebacker. Oh, see if you can find another Amon-Ra St. Brown in the 4th or 5th round.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Let me get greedy like that. Honestly, Mac, KG, what's changed? To me, it's the exact same thing that I've been thinking about for the last 2 months.
I think it's changed, at least for me, in terms of what you do in the first round, because I thought at first it was pretty open-ended. They could have went offensive lineman. They could have went defensive, interior defensive line. They could have went edge. Now that we've seen free agency play out a little bit, I think it's almost guaranteed that they get an edge, and I think it's almost guaranteed he's going to trade up for someone. I don't know who that someone is, but I think he has a lot of first-round grades on at least 3 or 4 guys. And if, 2 of those guys end up falling, I think we expect Brad to make a move because you have most of your draft picks at your arsenal. They're only missing a 5th rounder out of this year. They're only missing a 6th rounder out of next year, I believe. So you have everything there that you need to be able to move up and facilitate that way. That's where Brad likes to get aggressive. That's where he likes to go get talent. And like Spenny said, maybe you get your edge rusher for the next 5 years to partner next to Aiden. But I think they have enough wherewithal to know Davenport can't be your starter now.
No.
And, and of course, nobody's rooting against him here. We want him to have success, but we just can't bank on that fact that he'll be out there for X amount of games. And I think Brad Holmes knows that. That's why they brought him back on a cheaper deal. And he could be a great depth piece. But I look forward to them maybe going out and trying to get a starter.
I just think that when you're in this position, you have like contingency plan A, B, C, and D. And now whether they've moved on to B or C or whatever, it's sort of that's what good teams do, right? It would be nice to hear who they went after, who they couldn't get, what their number 1A plan was. It's the same thing we talk in the draft. But now they got to adjust. So I think that when you break it down, Sean, they did a lot of the drafting and free agency by adding the ancillary pieces, right? The pieces, the injured guys that go down, the plug-and-place guys, the guys that aren't your starters but are guys that are going to have to play some meaningful minutes. Now, Lopez on the rotation defensive tackle. Now we know what we need, but how are we going to get there? Now just like Brad Holmes in there sharpening his sword going, I guess I go back and work in the draft, bro.
Right.
I got to be chopping meat again in the draft and see what I'm going to do. So we know how he cooks and what he's got to get their guy. That's one thing it's trying to break down is who are they targeting? Because I believe just like, what it goes back down to, it's like, did anybody think they were targeting Jack Campbell?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So they got their guys.
Right.
And these are their guys. So you know what? Be prepared that it might not be the other one. That's why I always wait and listen as Spenny breaks guys down and breaks guys down to who would fit and what might be. And I think you brought it up earlier. Look at where your reach can be now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because that's what we've seen Brad Holmes' track record. So, I mean, if you landed somebody else that you got in a position, but it was always sort of working this way. And I always go back to he likes his own guys in the free agent pool. They're in the free agent pool too, and he pulled them out of there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So whether you like it or not or whatever like this, Spenny nails it with
That's the point.
You're bringing back. You just pretty much picked up a free agent, Aiden Hutchinson, who hadn't played most of the year last year. Your guy is coming back, so it'll be interesting to see what they do.
And for all the people that's, Brad just picks his or drafts or signs his own guys, yeah, you're right. Because if you're a smart franchise and a good GM, you draft guys and you want to retain them. That is the goal. You want to have them for more than just one contract if that allows it, And shout out to Steve Wilds in the chat. All late picks won't just let you move up. You got to understand, first-round picks are valuable no matter where they're at. Why? Because of the fifth-year option that you get on that. And it's easy to say, okay, a late second or a late third isn't intriguing to another NFL franchise. It's easy to say that when you don't know who is going to fall in the draft. When things happen in the draft, things change. And we all know Brad Holmes to be opportunistic. We know him to be somebody that has finessed other teams in terms of being able to package a lot of picks together and move up to the spot that he wants to move up to. So I wouldn't just poo-poo later round picks. Yes, that's the waters that we're in now. All of those picks are going to be later picks, but Brad Holmes still knows how to maneuver, and you have to.
And I don't think it's a bad thing this year, Steve. Again, if you're to believe what a lot of people are saying, and if you've I guess scoured this draft as much as some of the losers have, and that's these bags under my eyes. Part of the reason is I've been doing mock draft simulators, maybe 40 a night. But all jokes aside, really, this is one of those things where go look at some of the names out there. If what people are saying, and this is a little top heavy than other drafts in the past, A lot of other teams are in this position. There are two undeniable truths that I know about the draft. Undeniable. And we have these conversations every year. Quarterbacks that many people don't think are going to go in the first round, go in the first round.
Yeah.
Set your watch to it. So 2, 3, 4, well, all of a sudden, 2, 3, 4 names have to fall because those 2, 3, 4 quarterbacks that guy blows. Well, I don't care what you think. I know the NFL puts a premium on the quarterback position. And yes, there have been guys that have gone where I'm like, I cannot believe they actually took that guy in the first round. That's the position,
Somebody's going to always something.
Always.
There's always going to be
Hey,
that move
our
that's
guy did
smarter than the room. You know, we used to be guilty of that with other guys in charge. I was just going to say to you as your friend.
Yeah.
When your mock drafts in March, random overseed the amount of drinks that you have each night, you got a friggin' problem, bro. You got a problem.
But you know how, Mac, you got the late night hockey game on, the 10:30 game, and I'm just sitting there just constantly over and over on the mock draft while I'm out watching hockey games. But no, listen, if the...
Do you quit doing it when it ends up the way you want it? Is that when you stop?
Absolutely. Well, you know what? It's like, you remember the Tankathon? Remember
Yeah.
Like okay, Red Wings got the first pick, time to go. And out the door I went. That's cool. Congratulations. But no, you know.
How'd that work out?
Yeah, well. When you got a good general manager, though. It's amazing what can happen when you have a good grand. Hey, and it's funny you talk about smartest guy in the room. I think we're all guilty of it, aren't we? I think we're didn't we shit on Brad for... A lot of people shit on him for Jack Campbell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did. I didn't, but
didn't a lot of people shit on him for Jahmyr Gibbs?
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Right.
James Williams.
Okay, yeah.
But that's the problem. Everybody's trying to be right about the situation.
100%.
That's why we have the divide of Lions fans that we have. Everybody wants to be right about trusting Brad. Everybody wants to be right about Brad ain't doing enough instead of just trusting the process. All the evidence has shown you he has a plan. He's not just passing up on big names for the fuck of it. I'm pretty sure this guy has a plan, and up to this point, he's had a plan. So let's just see how it works out.
If we're being fair to the process, I think we have to say 2024 draft is still there's still time to change the trajectory. I'm a firm believer that I think you have to wait 2 years before you start talking about busts and studs and everything.
Yeah.
Right now, though, if I'm being honest, the draft from 11 months ago, meh.
You might be getting a starting guard, and I'm trying to think of who else was drafted. TA's going to be fine. All the people worried about TA.
I firmly believe that.
He's
going
to be fine. He's your number 2
But up to this
going
point,
forward.
is it safe to say, meh? That's why you say 2 years.
Yeah.
Let's talk again in 2 years because, and I know you and I are on the same page about Arnold because we had all those conversations next year.
Yeah.
2 years from now, I have no problem sitting back going, what do you think now?
Yeah.
What do you think now?
And I'm not ready to say meh because I feel like for what you needed in that draft, you got that. You were only drafting for one starter. Everybody else was supposed to be a depth piece. And we all know Manu, that's a project, but he could be a future starter on your offensive line. Like I agree with a lot of the picks. Was Mekhi Wingo in this last draft? He looks pretty good.
Yep.
I'm not ready to poo-poo the 2024 draft just yet. I'm not. That's just me though. I understand.
How about Kevin Donaldson? Sick argument, 100%. Guys, hold on. Guys go early and some go later. Seems to me a guy projected round 1 ended up being taken in round 2. It might just work out.
Very
Remember
deep
a guy
draft,
named Branch?
too.
Yeah.
So
Very
it's talent
deep draft.
evaluation, right? Do you trust your talent evaluator?
Bam.
So it doesn't matter of putting the pieces together for this team.
And he hits more than he misses.
Let's go to break real quick, but before we do that, I just want to let everybody know we'll be being joined by someone coming out of the next break. And it's this guy right here down at Lakeland for the Detroit
He's got his
Tigers.
bias shirt on and hobby bias starting today at
He's in the
third
lineup.
base.
Our guy Neil's going to be joining us coming up after break. But first, tell us about Lady Jane's.
Yeah,
Steve.
absolutely. Let Lady Jane's take the chore out of getting a haircut. Just walk into any one of the over 100 Lady Jane's across the country for a talented stylist can do you up. Hot leather neck shave, maybe a hot towel treatment, whatever you need, make you look all good and fancy. Why? Because Lady Jane's is open 7 days a week. You can walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Whether you're just chilling or watching the game, or chilling watching the game, Jars Cannabis, they have you covered. Get educated, get medicated. There's over 30 Jars locations throughout this great state, with new ones coming to Grand Rapids, Milan, and Madison Heights, and exclusively now, the Darren McCarty brand. You can pick it up all over at Jars, any way that you want to smoke at Jars Cannabis. They have always got you covered. Tell them D-Mac sent you.
How's that going for you, by the way, Mac?
I'm busy.
Yeah. I know if you're
Skymix,
missing an alumni game, you're busy. I know that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and the most important thing is if it shows up there, I will show up there at some point. So, traveling around the state, and that's why I've been out of town or in and out a lot and stuff like this. But thank you for all the support and all the conversations and everything else.
There's a buzz, dude.
When it comes to that, it's an option.
Yep.
Know that you have the option and the conversation.
Get your bag, Mac. Get your bag.
I'm always checking D-Mac to see if they have it in the local stores around here, like the Metro Detroit Jars, every time I'm working and stuff like that. I'm always on the lookout for you.
Yeah, please. We're always alert. Like, if you want to, when you come in or whatever, where you've done that, you say, oh, I saw you have this here. I'll add it into the read.
Without further ado,
I know up in Utica where we were, they got the Gorilla Glue number 4, which is the Michigan staple strain.
Of course.
And Ghostface OG. And it's all around. I'm really proud.
Hell yeah.
All right.
That's a good bag.
Without further ado, joined in live from Lakeland, Florida, El Mago's #1 fan.
Javi. Yeah.
He's playing third base today, just to show you how versatile he is and what value he is to the team. He's playing third base today, and straight up raking, Spenny.
Oh,
raking.
yeah.
You know it. Get ready.
He's back.
Has he batted yet? What time does the game start?
Starts at 1 o'clock, and actually, like, low-key, pretty good pitching matchup. Jackson Jobe against Max Fried.
Oh, okay.
So that's pretty electric. But, I can't wait. I can't wait to see Javi play third base. I'm just here to see Javi Baez, and I'm going to get my wish.
How's the crowd? How's the fans? The crowd?
Dude, D-Mac, like, the crack of the bat when you're at spring training, like batting practice and all that stuff, man, like, it hits different. It does.
It does.
It's awesome. The weather's awesome. The Yankee fans are all here. You know, they have their Joe DiMaggio jerseys and Babe Ruth jerseys.
Where's Maz? You sit beside Maz this game, or is he out in the bleachers?
He's got to be around here somewhere. I'm sure that he is. He's probably got a Steve Balboni jersey on, but
Balboni.
You know, the Yankees fans, you know, they don't have anything recently, so it's all old stuff. You wouldn't know that, right? Like when you talk to them, but they're out here and they're in mid-season form. But it is, though, man. This is the first time I've been here. It's electric, and I'm glad I came. And Spenny, we're at the Corona Cabana out here in center field. It is
hell yeah.
Neil, I would recommend it to anybody. Honestly, if you get a chance to go It's different. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe it's because we've been beaten down with the shitty weather here in Michigan. I don't know what it is. It really does. It hits different. And I have found myself at Atlanta Braves New York Mets game, and I'm like, nah, this is totally cool. It's just a different vibe, man.
It absolutely is, and it's something. If you haven't done spring training, you definitely need to go do it. Especially too, as you said, Sean. Like when we come up here from Detroit, like it's crazy. You come down here, you get out here, it's 80 degrees, like it's perfect, and it is. It's just this is for everybody that trashes baseball, which a lot of people do. This is why baseball is never going to go anywhere, right? The romantic. How can you not be romantic about spring training? And there's Twins fans here, there's Marlins fans here. Like it's pretty cool. I'm glad I went for sure.
I'm glad to hear you say that, Neil. Honest to goodness, yeah, drink up, my friend. I'm glad there is a simplicity to baseball that other sports don't have. And I don't know what it is. I don't know how to explain it. I don't want to explain it. I just know that it is. And I've said this 10,000 times. I wasn't a big baseball fan growing up. I know I should have been, especially with the 84 Tigers and everything. I wasn't a big baseball fan growing up. Shocker, it was always hockey and football for me. I feel like shame that I joined the baseball crew much later in life when my boy fell in love with it and had a chance to play it for many years. There's a simplicity you can't put your finger on, Neil.
I think, Neil, you nailed it. It's tradition. It's tradition. That's what I'm sensing through the screen or whatever, even with the Yankees fans and whatever, but baseball carries on this tradition from the old days to the fact that even the ballparks, but you know what, how many people are having a hot dog, how many people to spring training. I think that the way that they start out and everybody's in the warm weather, right? It's not like you're doing training camp up here in Detroit, people having to go out getting bitter. No, there's a nice freshness because it's a nice day too. So nice to see you're on brand in the Corona tent.
No, yeah, people are absolutely doing it. No doubt about that for sure. So big game today. This game will go a long way in determining where the Tiger season is with Max Fried on the mound and Javi. I want to say Javi's hitting fifth or sixth, something like that.
Six.
Yeah, KDG.
Mago.
You damn right.
Neil,
damn right.
I think I'm underselling this team a little bit. Right now I'm at 110-52. And I know some people get mad at me because I'm only at a I'm a hater. Yeah, so I'm at 110-52, but I will say this when staff will probably all have 20 wins each and I think Kenta might lead the way with 25. So, when you add it all up, I'm at 110-52 right now, and I don't want people to hate on me for it.
Hey, D-Mac, I do have to ask you this because I don't think we talked about it. Where are you at with the fact that Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN's going away next year? Where are you at? Thank you. That's the answer I was looking for.
Speechless.
Really? I you know what? One of these things I just sort of buried away and didn't think we'd have to talk about. But just where you're talking tradition and all that, and then they go and do dumb shit like that. So I'm not a fan of it.
Talk to Darren McCarty? Yeah, you want to talk to Darren McCarty right now?
Oh, that's great. That's outstanding.
I do a talk show with Darren McCarty in Detroit.
Oh, my gosh.
What's up? Who's that? Hey, darling. What's your name?
It's unbelievable.
Darling, it's a dude. I can't see. All right. Nice to see you. Go Tigers, baby.
From Pennsylvania.
Representing everywhere.
That guy's going to run to the bathroom and whip one off. He is. He is running straight to the Neil. He's elbows and assholes to the bathroom. He's going to whip one off right now.
He's calling all his boys. I just talked to Darren McCarty.
Right. There you go. How's you get any Woodward sports love at the ballpark?
That usher there, he's actually an usher here.
Oh.
So when people ask him to take their picture, he flips it around. So the picture's on him, and he takes it, and he gives him the camera back and walks away, dude. It's electric. It's the most electric
That's hilarious.
I've ever seen.
Of course that's your favorite guy at the ballpark. Make sure you get a picture.
Well, he's my second favorite.
There we go.
Yo, Mago.
Hey, you're just setting up
about his 800 OPS. Can we talk about it, Spenny?
You're just setting up the narrative. Greatest comeback player in the history of the game, and Neil Rule knew it first.
Hey, Spenny has guaranteed us 295 and 30
Shit
homers
just
from
keeps
Javi.
going
So
up.
I'm just saying, man. He's guaranteed
I'm taking
us that.
Sean's bet before that.
Yep.
110 and 52.
Well, right now I'm Torque. I'm in between 990 and 1,000 OPS. So
Jesus Christ.
I'm trying to figure out which
Hater.
one it's going to land on. So,
You're a hater, Sean. You're absolutely a hater.
well, I'm going low.
Is Torque back?
100%. Everybody's back, man.
Everybody, you're right.
100%. No injuries. Not one person's going to get injured. None of it.
Nope. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everything
All right,
is
boys.
awesome.
I just wanted to check in with you. It's awesome. You guys need to come out here.
When he goes yard, you better get a photo.
I swear.
He's going yard. You know the way it
we
works.
need a live reaction video to
And I
every
want
at-bat.
you to put out that you knew it all along, bud.
Yeah,
You
we
knew
need
it all
live
along.
hobby watch, man.
The show's going to be over at 1. I was going to say I could VMix in live for his at-bats. Are you guys doing the watch party for the spring training?
Spring training watch party.
That ain't on the docket today.
Neil, if he goes yard with you there, that might be the end of me.
I swear.
Like that might be that. Like serious, somebody say the Hail Mary and just make sure you put the pennies in my eyes.
I won't have you
It
to
might
call
be time
this
to
shot.
sleep.
I won't have you to call this shot. I want him to point the bat at Neil
points
and
at
then
Neil,
go
hell
yard.
yeah.
I will do a reaction video as he's rounding the bases. For real, I will. If it happens.
Oh man, that'll be electric.
Yes, please.
So damn.
Please
good.
hit a homer. Please hit a homer.
That is so damn good.
Timothy, I'll talk to you later.
Take care,
right,
buddy. That is so damn good.
Our fearless leader.
Shout out Neil.
Boots on the ground.
Dude, I gotta get down to fucking spring training.
I was gonna. You've been down there, haven't you,
I
Matt?
have. I when I used to live down in Clearwater, I went 1 year.
Yeah.
And stuff. It's Joker March, isn't that what it's called?
Yep.
Yeah, and now they've renovated it.
And
so I haven't seen it since it's been renovated.
King Tay in the Woodward Sports Chat. He
Shout
says, no one cares that Vildor got cut. Nope.
Nope. Sorry.
Safe travels.
It's a piece.
He was fine. Like,
Yeah,
I think he was overhated.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah,
I think he got too much shit.
Yeah, I think he was
okay.
overhated, but he was a fine fifth corner.
So
And
can we get back to spring training for a minute? And I'm serious, you guys. If you get the opportunity, there are some places that are more like hot than other. Like I went to, I don't even remember what year it was, but I'll tell you how long ago it was. Mac, I saw the Montreal Expos down there, and they were playing the Yankees, and that was like off the hook. But like I went to the ABC Wide World of Sports thing where like the Braves play.
Yeah.
That I had to scalp minor league tickets.
Damn.
Or excuse me, spring training game tickets.
Yeah.
I had to scalp. We're down there. My kid would have killed me if we didn't go to the game. Like he would have killed. We went there. I don't have to. This place seats like 2,900 people.
Exactly. To have scalpers for that is crazy.
Sold out. And my kid's looking at me, the big puppy dog eyes.
Yep. Get my man in the crowd tickets.
I got two. Who needs two? Yeah.
So I walked up like this dude comes walking by, goes, "You need tickets?" I go, "I don't care where they were." He's like $40. I gotta pay $40 for two fucking exhibition
you should have had your tickets coming down here.
Who's how much are tickets normally for?
They were cheap.
Yeah,
they were. But
Back
I did.
then, I imagine
I gave them. No, well, this was.
I was about to say $40 sounds like a deal now.
This was about.
He said this when the Expos were around. So that was a while
but
ago.
then when we were Wide World of Sports, that was about 5 years ago.
Oh, okay.
So we were down there, and my boy's looking at me like you're the worst dad ever. Like I wanted to come down here and see one game. You are the fucking worst dad
Why did you
ever.
have the tickets already?
I did. Who thinks you need to buy
sold out at a spring training
games,
game
right?
is kind of wild.
That's true.
So I want to say honestly, I think it was like 3,000 was the capacity.
Yeah.
And dude, like I went to the gate and the guy goes, "We've been sold out for like hours." I'm like, "Cool, thanks."
So, I mean,
so I bought 2 tickets for $40. I had no problem with
I feel like I would love spring training because I used to go to Lugnuts games all the fucking
it's the
time.
best.
All the
It's the
time.
best.
You go to Lugnuts games, the beers are cheap, the seats are cheap. You're downtown Lansing. You're just having a good time.
Toledo's
man.
unbelievable for
Yeah.
people that
Dude,
haven't
minor
been
league
down there.
baseball
It's
in the States.
unbelievable.
I still haven't been to a
Hens is
Unicorns
great.
game.
Yeah.
I would go to a Unicorns game in a heartbeat. I still haven't been
Traverse
out there.
City Beach Bums or
Yeah.
they still around?
Traverse City Pit Spitters.
I used to go to Lugnuts games during the summer. I spent 2 summers in East Lansing when I was at school. I didn't go home. I used to go to Lugnuts games every week.
Whitecap games are unbelievable. And when my son was living in Savannah, when he was working on the TV show, Savannah. Everybody knows about Savannah, right?
The Bananas.
Yeah. Those
games would be
they're sold out for 2 years.
Harlem Globetrotters of baseball.
Yeah,
they're selling out Major League Parks now.
They're sold out for 2 years. Like, it was the same thing. And I'll be honest with you, when somebody told me $100, I'm like, here's the problem very quickly before we go to the break. You know what the problem is and why the tickets are cheap? Because a lot of the tickets they sell aren't actually for seats.
Right. Yep.
Like, there are only so much seats, and it's like,
admission.
you got to go stand out in the outfield somewhere, and there's no shade out there, and my pale white skin can't take that.
Super burnt.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fair. But you can take your pale white skin and go follow Woodward
White
Sports
ass.
everywhere to see the brightest sports company in the city, putting on all different social media platforms: YouTube, Instagram, X, Facebook, TikTok, Twitch. Doesn't matter. Wherever you get your media, you know Woodward Sports has a presence. Go tap in. Follow Woodward Sports on all different social media platforms.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Listen, I'm not sure who, but somebody let the Tigers get hot.
The Detroit Tigers are locked and loaded for another great summer in Detroit. And it all starts downtown at the biggest home opener party in the city. Join Woodward Sports at Grand Slam Festival as we take over the Detroit Opera House parking lot. A big-ass tent for a big-ass Detroit party. Get your tickets now at GrandSlamFestival.com or follow Woodward Sports on X and IG for your chance to get in for free. Party across from Comerica Park and hear the roar as the Tigers take the field for the first time in 2025. DJs, food trucks, bartenders, live broadcasts, and more. See you for the Tigers' first home game of the season, April 4th at the Grand Slam Festival with Detroit's biggest party animals, Woodward Sports.
Look at that pizza, though. Gosh damn it.
I can't wait for baseball season to start, man.
I'm with you, but it's pizza season right now, and I just can't stop staring at that thing.
But Sean, so you're the chef, the whatever, but those pizza pans right there, they could tell a story.
Amazing.
I look at that and I see the Stanley Cup, like the history, and you know what I'm saying, like as far as how long the story that how many pies have been cooked in there,
right?
And like that just reminds me of old school.
See, and they know what I like, because while I respect the pepperoni underneath the cheese, I need that old world style pepperoni on top.
Because
Mac,
with the square corner cheese, you got to be able to pick a pepperoni off. You don't want it
Yes.
underneath. You got to have a couple like this, and it's all part
like
of
Mac and I are playing the role of weathermen. As you see right here, right, you have this pepperoni storm coming in, and shortly after that, they will get. Oh, is that absolutely?
Look at the grizzled cheese on the like. Come on,
It's so
the best.
weird,
The best cheese is right there.
Yep, that's a fact.
Right there.
The caramelized crust cheese.
We got play-by-play on pizza. That is crazy.
We were
Where
having.
else you getting coverage like that?
You can't.
We were having a conversation, and I need to throw this out there because just to continue it during the break, and we did not have any intention of talking about this, but I have to bring it up, okay? So I'm going to ask you guys, and Mac, you're included as well, but you kind of have some connections that we don't have. What is the most you have spent on a ticket to a game, and what is the most you would spend? Do you know off the top? Mine's $500.
Damn, no, I haven't did that.
I spent, what was it, like $250 on the Tigers playoff ticket last year.
Okay.
I would have gone. I would go up to 500. If I'm going to a Lions playoff game, I know it'd take 3 times as much as that, so I wouldn't go to over 1,000. But I would pay up to $500 for a ticket to a game.
So $250 is your most?
$250 is my most.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mine is a combo because in 2023 I went to the Seahawks game and the Atlanta game. When I went with the Seahawks game, it was just me and my nephew, so those were 2 tickets. They weren't that expensive. When I did the Atlanta game, that was me and like a family. That was like my wife, her little brother, her father, and that was like 4 people, around $1,100 for both games. So
okay,
yeah.
I did 500, 1,000 for 2 tickets to the Rose Bowl when Michigan State went to the Rose Bowl.
I would do that.
Yeah, it didn't even think twice. It was like, and then the funny thing is, I kind of jumped the gun because somebody in the athletic department said you're an idiot. And I could have, mind you would have paid for them, but I could have gotten you 2 like seats for at least face value. But honest to God, I don't like to call people like that. Like I've known you I would never ask him ever for anything like that. I think taking advantage of a situation like that is not a good thing. Just one man's opinion. No offense if people have. I had no problem. I spent $500 for me, $500 for my kid to go to the Rose Bowl. No regrets.
Yeah, I've never paid for another ticket, but I spent but I've spent over $100,000 on Red Wings tickets in my career, especially playoff tickets.
Oh yeah, I bet.
So,
jeez, a beat.
Right?
What's the most amount of playoff tickets you had to buy? Like
I bought 4
in one.
Because, dude, I mean, I'd have 2 given to me.
Yeah.
Right, that you get that are your own, but I'd buy 4 lowers and whatever, and because I mean. My parents, families.
Oh, yeah.
So I made sure that had that, but like that nut. I mean, it was pretty much I got to go win the cup to pay for my playoff tickets.
Hell yeah!
With your
Worked out more
bonus or
times
whatever,
than it
but
didn't.
it was never about that. And I bet you I spent easily 25, 30 grand on away tickets for people over the years.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, no, it is what it is.
Sometimes you get lucky. I went to, I'm showing my age, but number 1 Michigan versus number 2 Notre Dame at the Big House. It was the Rocket Ishmael game where he made the 2 long returns. And we went there as we were kids. And these people were telling us prices. We walked all the way to the stadium. We were heading back to drive to my buddy's place in Ypsilanti and watch a game. I swear to God, this lady walking down the street, she goes, "Are you boys looking for tickets?" And we're like, "Yeah," because we were half expecting her to say $300, money we didn't have. And she goes, "My daughter's sick as a dog. You guys can have these tickets."
Oh,
damn! Got lucky.
That's my
What? No, you can have them. I'm like, no. At
Right.
least let me give you something.
How old were you?
17.
So you offered to cut her lawn or anything?
Yeah, I would have done more than that. You should have seen her. But anyway,
Would've mowed that
all
lawn.
jokes aside, she goes, "No, my daughter's a freshman here. She's sick as a dog. She just gave me 2 tickets. We were in the 5th row at the 40-yard line. I shit you not.
Yeah.
Like watching Rocket. I mean, that's a historic football game. But
yeah,
sometimes you get lucky.
I was out in Ann Arbor for the Michigan State game. Trouble with the snap, the game, and I was out there. I was tailgating with, my cousins went to school there. My sister went to school there, and so me and some of my boys were out there tailgating with them. And my cousin was like, "I'm not going to this game. Here, you want my 2 students section tickets?" I was like, "Fuck yeah." We go out there. We're sitting in the corner of the end zone where Jalen Watts-Jackson returned the touchdown to, in that corner of that end zone, and got in there for free. Michigan fans were lined up, ready to jump on the field. They were ready to go out there, storm the field, and trouble with the snap happens. He returns it.
Bullshit.
You could hear a pin drop
Still
in
some
that
bullshit
stadium,
to this
dude.
day.
Freaking out. I thought I was going to get jumped because I was in the Michigan student section. It was, dude.
That's 10 years this
That was
October,
a
by the way.
tough
Isn't that
game,
insane?
Yeah.
Chase, what do you got?
I didn't get free tickets, but right as along the year 2021 or 2022 when the Lions started to pick it up, and we went to Green Bay, had the flex game for Sunday Night Football, and if Seattle and LA, depending on that outcome, put us in the playoff.
2022. Yeah.
I bought tickets to that game right after we lost to Carolina, just because the prices dipped dramatically, and I sat row 2, 4-yard line, right near the tunnel. on the Lions sideline for that game. I only paid $85 for that ticket at Lambeau. It was an awesome time. Spent the whole day driving south around Lake Michigan. Hung around the stadium for an extra hour and a half because the Lions fans were just taking over, chanting and cheering. And then the players were running up and down the field, high-fiving everybody. And then drove through the UP all the way back. Got home at 7:30 and then had to work at 10 a.m. So
I still haven't been there. Haven't been to Lambeau.
Haven't been to Lambeau.
No, I would bucket list. Maybe we'll go.
All right,
Lambeau and Wrigley are two places I really want to go.
I'll bucket list.
Well, I know it's not historic or this destined, but I believe Oracle Park, is that San Francisco?
Yeah.
Oh,
I want to go there so bad. And my sister lives in Sacramento, so I was looking up the schedule this year to go out there. They don't play San Francisco on the road this year. I was so pissed off.
Wait, you talking about basketball?
No. Baseball.
You said Oracle. That's
yeah,
what threw
they
me
renamed it. It used to be
Yeah.
AT&T Park. Now it's called Oracle Park.
Yeah.
PNC Park in San Diego.
I want to go in one of those fucking canoes.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
even being funny. I
Oh,
wanna,
and get
yeah,
a ball?
and
sit out there?
I would chill on the canoe and listen to the broadcast, slamming beers out there
There's
for
people
sure.
who go out there every game in a kayak and do that.
San Diego's
That's
awesome,
fire.
by the way.
Yeah, Petco
So it's
Park, the
awesome.
Western Metal Supply Company.
Oh, it's crazy. It's just like an afternoon. That's like a picnic party.
Yeah.
Nice.
Let's go to break. We'll come back. We got a couple of legends and two of the greatest hockey minds in the city on the desk right now. So if you guys want to drop some questions in there in the chat, we can ask these two legends that. But first, tell us about Les
But
Stanford.
before I do, Kenny, I think that the only ticket that I would buy is a wrestling ticket.
You damn
You
right.
can get money out of me for wrestling like everybody else. Cause
You ever been to WrestleMania? How many WrestleManias you been to?
I have not.
Really?
No, I'm not even here.
Oh, you
so that might be on
playing.
the bucket list. Anyways, what else might be on your bucket list? Is a new car. Les Stanford sign and drive sale. Get a 2024 Envision for only $239 per month, or try out the 2025 Sierra Crew Cab Elevation for only $249 per month. Don't forget about the 2025 Hummer EV SUV for only $789 per month. Zero security deposit. Zero due at signing, zero first payment, zero acquisition fee. Get to Les Stanford today and check out their massive inventory at the sign and drive sale. Les Stanford Buick and GMC, LesStanford.com. Together, let's drive.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Woodward Sports is at it again, giving away more cash and prizes than anyone in Detroit. Get into our March Bracket Challenge, powered by Jug and Nathan Neurosurgery. If you have the biggest basketball brain and get first place, you win $1,000 cold, hard cash. But it doesn't stop there. Second place gets a weekend at Grand Traverse Resort in Traverse City, including brunch at Erie and golf. Third place, 2 club seats to see the Pistons versus Bucks with food and drinks courtesy of RHB Laboratories in Troy. You can pre-register now at WoodwardSportsBracket.com. That's WoodwardSportsBracket.com. Then, after Selection Sunday, fill out your bracket for your chance at $1,000 in cash money and more. Pick by mascot, choose by team colors, have your dog pick. No matter how you do it, go to WoodwardSportsBracket.com right now and register. All powered by the best in the game, Chuck and Nathan Neurosurgery and Woodward Sports.
Look at that picture. Would you you can't do that to me.
I'll
Spenny.
tell you
That's
this
not
too.
fair.
Here's a caveat. As
It's not
delicious
fair.
as this is, do yourself a favor and just get a plain old cheese corner and
I'm not
start.
gonna argue with that.
Start there because Buddy's cheese, plain to whatever, and my kids love
It's
it.
great.
I'm cheese pizza over pepperoni pizza any day of the week.
I don't know about
No,
that.
I don't think
That-
so, but I'm
that
saying
Wisconsin
the cheese
brick,
pizza
yeah.
is the staple. If you can make that with nothing, and it's unbelievable.
It's
Anyways.
good.
I brought this up to the guys the other day, Mac, and I know it's heresy to a lot of people, but you need to try their thin crust. It's incredible. It is.
You did say that the last time. I'm about to check it out.
Mac, try it. Like it is. There's a juiciness to it. I don't know how to explain it.
Thin crust is a fun change of pace because you can just smash the whole thing and you feel like a little bit like a monster.
Right.
Like, yeah, I just stayed a
Yeah,
little pie.
it's
Oh,
not
I
a,
could go
it's
through
not
a
a
thin
bad
crust
thing. I don't feel
quick.
guilty about it. You know
Right,
what
yeah.
I mean? Anything in the chat that we need? By the way, I love days like today, very quickly, when you can turn on like ESPN or whatever channel and you're getting all day ACC, Big Ten, whatever the case may be, tournaments. There's I love this time of year because I just sit at home and go, cool, I'm going to be a good for nothing the rest of the day.
Is that Jim Boeheim on the desk?
It is Jim Boeheim.
Shout out.
Detroit Supremacy with the $10 super chat in there. He said, I went to the 2021 Big Ten Championship game, paid $4.50 a ticket 8 rows behind the tunnel. I bought them right after K9 game, so I thought MSU would be there, but I still went for the experience.
I can confess this to you. I didn't go to the Big Ten Championship in 2013 because I was shitting my pants at what Ohio State was going to do to Michigan State. And I regret that very, very much.
Yeah.
I regret that. The famous picture of Urban eating pizza, it was one of my favorite pictures for a span of no less than 5 years. But, yeah, that was no doubt about it. And then, unfortunately, I couldn't go when they beat Iowa, the drive. I couldn't go that day. I had a hockey broadcast. But legitimately, I haven't done a Big Ten championship game yet. Have you gone? Have you gone to one of Michigan's last?
No. I had tickets from Mike G last year. I went to the Arkansas State game, but I've never been to any significant Michigan game.
I want to go to the Big Ten championship. I do.
Got to see Central in the MAC championship down at Ford Field.
Cool.
Ended up losing, sadly, but it was a fun game to go to.
Yeah, championship games are fun. Anything else we have to hit on, Spenny? I know people in the chat, especially the super chats. Thank you. Appreciate you guys all day. You got Darren McCarty in the house. Neil will be back tomorrow, right? Neil
will be back tomorrow.
Definitely.
I think it's Neil and Terry tomorrow.
Neil and Terry? Okay.
I'm in tomorrow.
Sean? You're tomorrow. It's Neil and Sean
You're
tomorrow.
stuck with me tomorrow.
Maybe that was next week.
Yeah,
Maybe that was Monday.
Oh, great.
I heard them
Gotta
talking
deal with
yesterday.
your ass.
I won't be here. I'll be at Maple Leaf Pro over St. Clair College tomorrow. Scott DeMoore's promotion.
Yeah.
Who knows what shenanigans we'll get into.
I know you're getting into something, though.
Yeah,
I know you got a spot.
And then I know that you're doing the Wings Montreal game at Fraser.
Yep.
At 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yep.
I will not be there, but I will be at the United Cerebral Palsy game at 7 o'clock, Orchard Lake St. Mary's. And then Sunday, if anybody's not busy, Chase, I have a comedy show in Belleville at the Diamondback Saloon. Yeah,
that place
7
is
o'clock.
legendary.
When's
the
that
94 service drive.
Sunday night?
Yeah.
Oh, bet. I'll tell my dad. He wants to go.
Yeah.
Spenny, you got to trust me. That place was legendary. You get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That place was legendary. Diamondback. Oh, my gosh, was that place outstanding. So busy weekend. Mac, I'm actually going to the Wings game. I like a 1 o'clock Sunday matinee game.
You might see me down
Good.
there.
And you know what? I love to go as a fan. I do. I'm going with wifey and a few friends and just kind of doing it up all afternoon. I told you, as I've gotten older, man, I love being a fan.
Yeah.
Because for so many years you're up in the front. I want to cheer. I want a beer. I want to have a big fat dip. I want a big fat dip right now. DIP, by the way, I might add. But,
It's toeing the line, but it's...
Don't forget, we got the Woodwards coming up, the heavyweights coming up tonight as well. Gang will all be back in here tomorrow. Neil, Rule as well. But in the meantime, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
No, I think you said it all.
All right, fantastic. Appreciate you all. Thanks for tapping in. Mac will be back next week. I'm in tomorrow and Monday with Neil. Have a great weekend. Peace. Enjoy the tournament.